You said that you came from the bottom.
There's never been a hand to pick us up. And I see my mom struggle, her whole entire life. And unfortunately, my dad has a past and he wasn't around. But, at the end of the day, it made me stronger because I seen a single woman struggle.
Someone that came from your same background could be very bitter. How do you rise above that?
I have a lot of losses in my life. I lost my brother. My mom died when I was 20. My dad's been locked up 21 years. Every single thing that you can imagine except death, I've probably been through. So it makes me humble. Nobody would give me a shot because, I have a past. Parker gave me a shot. So once that I got into actually getting on the phone and I could hold a conversation over the phone and they didn't know what I looked like, I started to realize that I could bring the best out of people. So I was like, all right, you're not going to judge me because of how I look or where I come from. Now you don't know who I am and you know my voice is 1,000% positive, then okay, then I can flip this.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Wisdom of Wrench podcast. I have in studio with me my co-host, Amanda Meyer.
Hello, all.
I, as well, am your co-host. I'm Kevin Comerford, and we are delighted to be here today. We've got a great show today where we're really focused on maintenance agreements and how we get clients happily involved with maintenance with maintenance agreements. We've got one of the goat of all goats joining us today from Parker & Sons. This is a 4-time GOAT recipient, Amanda, in the area of maintenance agreement sales by a call center agent. And in my opinion, this person achieved the 4-minute mile like Roger Bannister ran by getting over 1,000 clients involved in maintenance agreements in 1 year. Pretty special.
Very impressive.
Pretty special. What a guest we have today. I think you're going to find him very special when we're done. And let's just get right to it. I'd like to introduce everybody to Ernie Galaviz. Ernie, how are you, my friend?
I'm too blessed to be stressed. How you doing, sir?
And I said that right, correct? Ernie Galaviz?
Galaviz.
Galaviz. Thank you.
It's okay. You just say Ernie G. That's what they do.
Ernie, okay.
My boy, Ernie G.
There you go. Nice and easy. It's my boy.
He's a playa.
Not anymore.
How you doing, Ernie?
Again, I'm happy to be here. Excited. Was a lot nervous, but when you get around comfortable people that you still them nerves go away. So yeah, a little nervous, but ready to go. Ready to take this on.
Great. Well, let's get right into it. You've got quite a background. We've spent a little bit of time together prior to the podcast, a couple days prior to the podcast, just getting to know one another. And you shared a little bit about your background, but let's go. Just tell us a little bit about Ernie, and then we'll work into some of the companies that you worked for prior to coming to Parker and how you became who you are today.
No problem. So as of Arizona, we all know that's a melting pot. So I'm a native here. That's born and raised downtown Phoenix, Suns, Cardinals, Diamondbacks, no championships except one. So, those types of stories going up, didn't have too many heroes in the sports world. I got a lot of kids. I got a son who works for Parker now. He's a duct cleaner, or he does duct cleaning. My other kid is, I don't really know what to say. He amazes me every day because he's been a winner. I mean, he literally had all the college offers everywhere to go to every college, but he was pretty much done with football after he figured that concussions are a thing, And so he luckily met his girlfriend, and they're living happily ever after. Right now, he's in Italy. But then I got my other teenagers. I got my daughters, and they're the ones who really struck gold in me. They hold me accountable in every which way. From the little steps to the big steps. Hey, I'll take you to the store if you just don't tell your mom that I accidentally slipped up, or hey, Dad, I told Mom, and now you need to, we need to figure this out. So my girls are always going to hold me accountable. Otherwise than that, I've definitely been with Parker in the same role. I've been offered a lot of roles, but my thing is, again, I like a challenge. So I like a chase, So I've been with here. I'll be going on 7 years in April. And of course, I just been to like you guys were saying, I've been to the Gold Awards since the first year that it, was a thing. And yes, selling that many PFPs is definitely something that I do take pride in, but I also forgot. So thank you for reminding me.
Yes. So
but otherwise, no, just very busy with the family and anything that I can do. I mean, if you call me in at 2 a.m, I'll come to work. So, I mean, I'm always available. So if I'm not working, I'm with my kids. I coach baseball with my boys, with my teenagers. I coach my older kids, but again, you can't be dad, coach, teacher, your whole life. So you got to give it up. So now I'm going to go give it to the girls. But besides that, a native, love it here in Arizona, wouldn't go nowhere else. And just excited to be here with you guys.
That's great. Well, you were sharing with me some of your background prior to you coming to Parker, working for big companies. Yes, I think you shared with me Wells Fargo and from Bank of America and a company called Safelight.
Safelight Auto Repair.
Yeah.
For glass.
Yeah. And I even remember you said, hey, Safelight is really the company that taught me sales.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your background working for these big companies, what you do and how you grew and what was that experience like?
I found, of course, that working for the big companies, you get a lot of training. And with their training comes a lot of different avenues that you don't think that you would expect in a call. But when you face them, you're like, wow, I'm glad I was prepared for that type of, call. So everything that I take from each job that I've had. So, we'll just, since we're on Safelight was selling auto glass, so you could have a Mercedes that their auto glass costed $1,200 because it'll tell you everything that you need to know. It'll navigate you. It will do everything that you can, to have the most exclusive windshield there is. And they're like $1,200, $1,300. Well, tell that to a person or sell that to a person that didn't know that was going to be that much. So they're like shocked, sticker, or you guys are upcharging us, all that good stuff. But it just taught me to overcome objection. Like, yes, you can go to that mom and pop shop that's going to do it for half, but what's going to carry over from that? Are you going to be able to call that business and have somebody there for you 24/7, 365? Same thing with just holding everybody accountable. We're here, like with Parker, it's easy for me to sell a plan because we've been here 51 years and we're not going anywhere, so it's just learning different things from the jobs and being able to put them all into one. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you want to learn an example from Bank of America, I was literally being trained to go into loan modification and got thrown into bankruptcy. So I went from helping you save your home to get out your home, and it's like, wait, so how do you have that conversation? Like, hey, I love you, everything's going good, but I need you out by the 31st, so it's kind of like, and I'll even take it further. I used to be a lot attendant for ABC Nissan, and back in the day, they did all these financing and you got to go home with your car, and now you have to be financed. Well, back in the day, I used to have to take them people home, get their new car back because they didn't get financed, and I literally would have to drive them home in the drive of shame back to their address and drop them off with no car, Wow. And so, like, I didn't know at that time that would help me to understand what people are going through. But I mean, every job, I just try to take something from there. I mean, and I was at these jobs for, a little bit of time. So I think they're training and just me taking the key points and bringing it here or bringing it anywhere, even into life, and just kind of making sure you always understand you don't know what somebody's going through. So you always got to make sure that you listening to everything that they're saying, but most importantly, try to get something that you can grab onto so you guys can connect. So I know that was a long answer. So
no, that's good. That's
the next question. I already forgot the second part of it. I apologize.
No, when you said that Safelight specifically taught you sales and answering objections, what specifically about answering objections were you able to bring over to Parker?
Just being upfront with them, because a lot of these customers, they have car insurance, so they assume that the car insurance is going to take care of it, kind of like a home warranty. They don't want our maintenance plan because they assume that our maintenance plan, that their home warranty is going to do everything for them. But little do they know, if they read their fine print, they must have that unit maintained. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm telling customers, hey, this is a $1,200 job. Like, sorry, there is no deductible. They don't cover this if you hit a deer, like whatever, and there's so many different things that they didn't cover opposed to, like you could kind of get your pamphlet on what's going to be covered. But with auto glass, I mean, it could be anything. So the objectives were always, I'll go to my insurance. They're going to cover it. Well, let's not. Why waste your time? Your deductible is going to go up. Mm-hmm. You're going to work with us. You're going to have your warranty. So the objection is what I took a lot from, because every single person, as soon as they heard our pricing or like any little thing that they could have just said, I'll call my insurance for, I have to come in and know that that's not going to be covered. And I need to save them from wasting their time, but also, most importantly, giving us repeat calls, because we got other people that we need to take care of. Instead of now having another rep, you have to explain that for 30 minutes. Now this rep has to figure it out. So let me just close this while you're on the phone. So closing. That's what I learned a lot on how to close the sale. And again, we never call it a sale because we don't want them to feel like there's somebody, just a piece of money, a dollar bill, so again, closing the conversation is what I try to say. Closing, making sure that they feel valued. So even when I sell a PFP, a Parker Preferred membership, there's nobody on this floor that sends an email with their direct information except me, because I want to be accountable. If I helped you get something and I'm not there to help you understand it after the job is done, then really I'm kind of like a shyster, I just got in, got out, and I'm nowhere to be found. So, and I feel too with that, sorry for the long answer, but I also feel when you give that number, that email, and you assure them, that's assuring the sale, for one. So that way, if you don't like it, call me directly. I'll get rid of it for you. But even that, I want that second shot for them to tell me they don't want it, so then I could sell it to them again. I mean, so like I don't ever want anyone canceling because of maybe we were a little bit delayed because we have 1,000 degrees out here, and maybe that person, whatever I want them to be able to come back to me, tell me their issue, and let me resolve their issue. So again, it's just trying to just be a customer. A well-rounded customer, relations, customer service, sales, however you want to look at it. Just kind of put that up on it that I am here for you, whether you purchase the plan, whether you don't. We're still going to take care of you. So that's why I send them an email with my direct info, because the way that I explain it to them as well is, if you got somebody to yell at, you call me directly and yell at me now. Or if you love the plan, look at all those services, call me back and let me know what else you want to set up. So I also do happy calls. I'll call and say, hey, how did that job go? Well, keep in mind, you guys have XYZ to use on your plan and you still haven't used it. So let's get our plumber out there. Let's get our insulation tech out there. Let's get our electrical guy. And now that we done killed it in the AC side, these guys are like, well, what else do you do? Yes. And so I had a lady, she just literally called back, and her mom had 4 rental properties. So now we just got 5 people off of one call. Wow. So just trying to just stay well-rounded and being available and be knowledgeable. So definitely that's the key right there.
And you've been, just so I understand, at all these places, you've been a customer service rep, a call center agent, and what got you into that? What got you into besides the fact that you can talk like the best of them? You got the gift of gab, baby. Ernie G has got the gift of gab, and that is a pure compliment, my friend.
I appreciate that. Sometimes I talk a lot, so I'm wondering if it's just a gab, I don't know.
No, it's a gift. It's a gift.
But everybody in my family's been a hustler. Everybody in my family we come from the bottom. There's no one there. There's never been a hand to pick us up. And I see my mom struggle, her whole entire life. And unfortunately, my dad has a past and he wasn't around. But, at the end of the day, it made me stronger because I seen a single woman struggle, So it's like in today's world, not just women struggle now, men struggle, everyone struggles, everybody's got bills. But, growing up, it's just see my mom struggle, and then learning that if I can learn something and I can get somebody on my side and they can show them what I can help them do. Or maybe, I used to cut grass, I worked at a car wash when I was 12, vacuuming cars. Then next thing I know, I was 13 years old driving cars, and then next thing I know, I'm at ABC Nissan at 15, learning the salesmen and how they sell sell the cars, with the warranty is the selling point on it. So I took that and then I went and roasted chilies, like at Food City, you put this big chili thing in there and come to find out you sell pounds of chili. And then I got people that are trying to hustle me. I'm like, wait, $2.99 ain't enough? You want it for $1.99? I'm like, then I got to sell Food City's price, and make them understand. So it's just growing up, coming from the bottom. And I never, ever am ashamed where I come from because it made me who I am. But just growing up from the bottom in the struggle, man, it's just sticking your hand out there and you're drowning and people are walking by you like, man, pushing you down. And it's just like, I don't ever want to be that person. I'm going to pull everyone up with me, all 1,000 people, and all 1,000 of us are going to eat. That's just the way I've been. And and that's the way that I see it with us, because again, you guys don't have to do the things you do. I've worked for those major companies, but I've never been to no gold award, and I can bring all my awards from those companies that I have from them. But there's only awards that I put up from Wrench and from Parker, because those ones are individual, So, I take pride in them. A lot of people are like, why don't you have all your awards out? Well, because I'm humble too. And I know I need to get back there, so I don't ever want to feel like, oh, this is me. I'm giving every year it's going to happen, because the industry has changed, it's slowing down. It'll pick back up. It'll slow down. That's just the way the industry is. You'll have 1 million plumbing calls one day and 1,000 plumbing calls the next, and then no electrical, then the next. So it's just ever evolving. But at the end of the day, just trying to get the gift of gab was more or less trying to just make sure that I could have both sides of it, the hustler side and the understanding side of it, of why these people are so don't want to help this side over here. It's kind of like, and then that's why, like, I get the ladies on the phone, their husbands passed away and they're like, I do everything, or my husband did everything. I don't even know how to pay a bill. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm your grandson. Let me help you. So then as I hear them and I hear how much they're in stress, and then by the end of the call, they're like, I feel $1 million of better. This weight has been lifted off. So those are the things that I feel gratitude in, because I was able to help that lady who was literally stressing out. They didn't know she had an in-house warranty. They didn't know that her husband set her up on a preferred membership and all these things. And now I'm shot her an email. She sees it all in writing, and we're the best thing that happened. She write a review, and she's, she told all her family, her son calls, and again, these are why I prefer to give you my direct number, give you my email, because even if there is something later on, like, you do a claim for somebody and they get denied and they need some little help, it's like little thing, some little, send me an invoice. They can call me directly instead of getting somebody new. Now, I know that's probably, I can't be everywhere for everyone, because again, that's what my boss tells me. She's like, be careful because you don't want to bite off. But again, I've been doing this so long that I feel like if I'm not giving that same energy, then I'm not giving you my full spill. There you go.
Question. You said that you came from the bottom.
Correct.
And I've been around you long enough to know that you've got a wonderful spirit. Something drives that. And that's what I want to know, because someone that came from your same background, and you may know some people, could be very bitter, can be very, very angry. And that's so different than the Ernie G that I know. So how do you rise above that? The rise above the bitterness that could be there.
Not to get too far, but I have a lot of losses in my life. I lost my brother. So you don't get me emotional, but I'll get past it quick. But I lost my brother when he was 24 to OD. My mom died when I was 20. Same thing. My dad's been locked up 21 years. So those are the things that you don't. There's you become the breadwinner in every single which way there is. So I'm the top of the food chain in my family. I take care of everyone, like everyone. We have my wife's grandmother's at our house right now. She's got dementia. Or nobody else. I'm not saying nobody wants to take on those problems, but they don't want to take on that issue because it disrupts their life. But I also understand, because I've been through every single thing that you can imagine except death. I've probably been through. So it makes me humble. And it also just again, it sounds cheesy. It may not sound cheesy to everyone, but like Parker gave me a shot. When I was down and out, and I wouldn't say down and out like I was, homeless, but I was down and out. Like nobody would give me a shot because, I have a past. And of course, let's be honest, I got a couple tattoos that aren't for everyone, So, and really at that point, I worked so hard get people to not look at me, because I did feel like you're saying, like, not shame, but like, that's who I am. That's where I come from. This is where I'm expected to go. This is where I'm expected to be. So once that I got into actually getting on the phone and I could hold a conversation over the phone and they didn't know what I looked like or they didn't know who I was, I started to realize that I could bring the best out of people. So I was like, all right. So then you're not going to judge me because of how I look or where I come from. Now you don't know who I am and you know my voice is 1,000% positive. Then, okay, then I can flip this. So then once I flip that into knowing that not everybody's staring at me or judging me, because that's how I felt sometimes I'm completely tattooed, from the face all the way down to the hands, to the legs, so I got my first tattoo when I was 15 years old, thinking that was a life I was going to be in, but I came to realize real quick that when you have kids and you have an absent father and you have so much that you have to go through because you see your mom struggle, that's what I wasn't going to do for my kids. So when my kids came into this earth, I worked for UPS for 7 years from 1 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock in the morning, got out of work, took my kids to school in a whole different area than where we lived in, because we lived in the bottom. And I'm not going to say the name, but we lived in an area where school wasn't a priority. So surviving was a priority. So I was like, my kids don't need to survive. That's what I'm here for. So right off the top, I knew that my kids weren't gonna be in that same environment to where everybody expects the same thing. It's sorry to say it, but we're being honest. You just go through the motions. You get locked up and you go in and out, and that's just what life is because of where you come from. So as soon as I knew that I would never want my kids to want, and so I was like, I'm a hustle. So I may have not hustled in the right business in the beginning of my life, because again, I just thought that's what life was. That's both of my families on both sides. They're all from the bottom. And when I say bottom, from the bottom, we don't have anybody that's ever, we don't have people that graduate college and, we go on vacations and we have family functions. Like ours is a little different. So again, seeing all the negative put me back into a space where I was like, it's not my kids' fault. I brought them into this world, so I'm going to show them different. So that's why I chose to drive my kids 5, 6, 7 miles outside. And my kids have never went to school. Then when I got a little bit more, I bought my first house when I was 21 years old. Wow. Right in from a neighborhood where I come from, like where I came from, into somebody else's neighborhood. So those aren't things you usually do. So I went from one bad neighborhood into a whole nother neighborhood. And that's where my wife's side was from. So I just walked into another situation with her family. I'm like, whoa, so I'm never going to get away from craziness. So at the end of the day, it's my kids, man. It's my wife. It's my structure. It's losing my mom. It's losing my dad. My dad's still in the streets right now. I can't get him to come out of it. But again, there's no way that I want my kids to ever see me like that. So that's why I stay humble, and that's why I come to work. My son was just here right now and brought me breakfast, and I'm just like, man, that was cool. And he's like, I know you're nervous. You don't like being on camera. And I'm like, well, and then again, I had to change that right now because of the fact that like everybody was looking at me like, you're going to go on camera? I told you yesterday. I was like, I don't do the camera thing. But when it comes to something like this, you hit the nail on the head. Leave a legacy for your kids. So it feels good that when somebody meets my son, they're like, your dad's Ernie? And me, or when people walk up to me, I still think it's the weirdest thing, and I will have no clue who they are. Yeah. And they'll be like, "You're Ernie," and I'll be like, "Who is that? You know that guy?" And they're like, "No, that's you." And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, I'm a little bit still in shock that people want to know who I am and or know what I'm doing. So yeah, no, man, it's just my kids. If I had to say anything, it's just the way I grew up. Didn't want my kids to have to go through things like that, and I think that's why I wouldn't say they're all the way grown, but I mean, my son's 21 years old, and he's backpacked Europe. I mean, he's been to Portugal, the running of the bulls. And if he wasn't educated or he didn't go to the right schools, he would have never been able to have that, that structure, so he met so to give you a little background, he met his, the foreign exchange student senior year, but she wasn't like any other American girl who's always like this on their phone or, she wanted to play baseball and he was playing baseball. So he didn't have really no interest in, like having a relationship. So she comes along and she's like, she's not like every other American, like intimidated or scared they're going to be made fun of. She's out there diving for balls and going crazy. And, and so he sees that. And then, they start, communicating. And then so senior year, I was like, there's no way this is going to work. So have your fun, son, whatever. Well, the next year, talk about I'm going out to Spain. And I'm like, you're going to Spain? Like, okay. Gets his passport. So he starts doing all this by himself.
Wow.
Next thing I know, he's been in Spain the last 2 years. And pretty much by next year, he probably won't live here anymore. He'll probably live out there. He's in, I think, France right now, or he just came back from. I mean, it's crazy. Like, they're pilots. I could go days.
I love it. No, Ernie, I want to bring it back to, there's clearly something that you do that is very special.
Yes, sir.
And you're working at Parker, and I think there's now 850, close to 900 team members.
Yes, sir.
Right? And I reached out to Daryl. And I said, Daryl, tell me which one of the GOATs, because you've got so many at your company, that you want me to interview. Okay, Ernie? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm getting emotional thinking about this, just knowing a little bit of your story. Daryl said you were, and there's not a knock on anybody else, because I know that there are so many great people at Parker. He wanted me to interview you. That's how special you were. And I just need to share with our audience that you were at the Arizona Diamondbacks game on Sunday with over 500 team members from Parker and guests, and they chose you to throw out the first pitch.
That was amazing, by the way.
They chose you.
Oh, I know.
I mean, how do you, I mean, that, there's something special that you're doing, my friend.
I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, again, Daryl's my guy. I mean, I'll tell you a funny story real quick, like not even real quick. We're out there. It's like 2 a.m. We're getting out, we're at Nashville and all the restaurants are closed. And I'm like, man, again, I'm from the bottom. I was like, I'll get you some food somewhere. Watch. I come back with these hot dogs, these Sonoran dogs all built up.
I know exactly what hot dog stand you're talking about.
I pass them to Daryl and to Heidi, and man, they're busting them down. I'm like, I don't know how your stomach's gonna feel in the morning, but it's good right now, And so then Daryl's like, my best hot dog I ever ate. I'm like, no problem. Whenever you need it, you never need to go somewhere. I got you, whatever you need. So it's just like I said, like just breaking down them walls of that they've done, like, I mean, you guys, I could go on for days of how you changed my life with the GOAT Awards. I mean, that just alone, like I've never in my entire life felt so valued. I mean, I told you the other day when I walked into the Win, the Win when the first year, this is 22, so it was 21. It was dark and I was all pressing all kind of buttons. Next thing I know, the blinds fly open and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, what else does this do? The lights turn on and all of a sudden you just get this whole entire thing full of the Vegas Strip. And I was like, I don't think this is our room. He's like, no, I think it's our room. And I just thought, and I was like, okay, well, if this is what we're going to be treated like. I thought getting the accolades and all that was good. Where I was like, we get to come here. And then I think the first year, my biggest thing was falling off the stage because I was like, my legs are going to fall or I'm going to do something. So I wasn't like nervous like I was today, and it all worked out. So, I mean, it goes beyond, it definitely starts with Parker, but it goes beyond because, I mean, again, I have relationships outside of Parker with, like your co-host here, who's amazing, by the way. She never lets me know what I'm not doing or, what I need to do, or when she sees me, it's all love and energy. So there's just the people, even like you, I felt comfortable with you yesterday. And again, Daryl's like, you don't have to do it, and I'm like, I'll do anything for you, Daryl. He's like, all right, I know you don't really want to be on camera, but I'm like, so then again, I'm a praying man as well. So as I prayed this morning, you made it a lot more simple when you told me leave a legacy, because that's what I'm trying to do. So good. You guys bring the best out of people, man. That's why you guys are the best.
Thank you. Well, we're honored to be with you.
I appreciate it.
So let's switch a little bit to what it's like in a call and how you get a client to move forward with one of the maintenance agreements that's offered. Okay, I'd love to know a little bit about what your secret sauce is. What are your techniques? That's really at the heart of what I want to know and what I want our audience to get. How the heck do you run a 4-minute mile?
Knowledge, and just knowledge, building knowledge, knowing, separating ourselves from people. Like Parker does a very well job of separating themselves from their competition. And we're in Arizona where there's a lot of competition. So I think the customer experience is everything from the time you start off the call to the middle of the call to the dead air in the call to the not rebuttaling to not valuing the call. I think there's just so much that goes into a call that people just think it's a conversation, but it goes beyond a conversation. You got to build a bond if you want them to buy something from you, or it's not even about buying it. It's about just understanding that they're buying something that's going to benefit them. Like, why aren't you buying this preferred membership? You already had a problem. So why aren't we coming out every 6 months to check that problem?
And will you talk to the client like that? Will you be matter of fact like that?
Oh, 1,000%. Because they don't want to hear. I mean, we've all called call centers. We all called our cell phone business. And unfortunately, you'll get somebody that you're a problem to them. Like you're there, like you're mad that you had to answer the phone for that person that you signed up to answer the phone for, took the job to do that, but you're mad now that you have to help me. It's like, that's craziness. Like, why did you sign up for that? What did you think? It said customer service. So did you think you were going to be a grave digger? Like, what did you think you were going to do? So I just try to always stay well-rounded with the customer from the start to the finish, understand the situation before I try to sell them anything. And then also too, I always will try to throw in my pitch, go out of my pitch, throw in my pitch, go out of my pitch. Because I feel like when you come with your full pitch, it's like getting, you got your wife, right? If you would have gave all your game at one time, she would have been like, that's all you got, So it's kind of like, don't shoot your whole gun off of you. You know what I mean? You might have some extra bullets you need to use. So that's what I always try to do by going in and out of the sale. So I always start off with, keep in mind, we do have a Parker preferred membership, that is going to save you money today off the top. We're going to guarantee you service, and we're a company that guarantees their service. So not only are you getting a reputable rep out there, we're going to come running for you anytime you have a service need, because we do everything here: plumbing, electrical, drywall, ductwork cleaning, attic insulation, solar, water quality. So we're well-rounded. We're a one-stop shop. You don't have to go anywhere else. Matter of fact, I could hear your alarm in the back to your smoke detector. We're actually running a complimentary smoke detector alarm, so that way you don't have that problem. So I literally, I'll talk about a dog, I'll talk about the mailman, I'll talk about anything that I can. But when it does come time to get that sale and close that sale, I try to be honest as I can. Like, you're going to save $14, but by the time we come out, that's going to be taken care of. So don't worry about that $14, like $13.99. You already know you're going to get a quality tech, licensed, bonded, insured, that's going to take good care of you. So why not take that plan and add that umph? So yeah, just trying to close that sale and try to make sure that they know how well-rounded we are, and we're not going anywhere. And you got me if you need me by my email. It has my direct information in there. So just that's about trying to close it is the key, just trying to make them feel comfortable with you and trying to make them feel like, you are a stand-up guy and, you guys are a stand-up company, because just like anything, we all can find what we're looking on Amazon if we look hard enough. Yeah. I could find a 99-cent capacitor on there, but you can find a $99 capacitor on there, 99-cent one. But who's installing it for you? Who's going to guarantee their work, and who's reputable? Can you call Bank of America and get a rep that says, thank you for choosing Parker & Son, my name is Ernie, that's going to have a conversation without going through 30 prompts, or just being available and making sure you explain everything is a lot to do with it, because a lot of people are so sketchy about these monthly plans because they've been with Netflix. They've been with people that don't cancel them. But I mean, my percentage rate for canceling isn't bad because I try to give them the whole plan, well-rounded. Like, say, for instance, you don't need us for the AC. You have a drain that needs to be, we clear drains up to 75 feet, anything accessible. Your home warranty does none of that. They charge you $89 just to show up and have a conversation. So you don't even understand how many people I get back that are, they canceled their home warranty and now they're with Parker. Because why would you buy a $600 warranty with them when you could buy $153 for the year?
Yeah.
And you know you get a water heater inspection, plumbing inspection, electrical inspection, and that's what they do anyway, So I mean, if you have a brand new home, so we get a lot of people who call back and just like, I canceled my home warranty, man, I'm rolling with you. And so, Ernie, you better not do me wrong. And I'm I haven't done.
Is that what you mean, Ernie, when you say knowledge? When you say knowledge, it sounds like it sounds like you dive in and just look to understand the process, a new process or something new that Parker is coming out with, or even something that's existing. Is that what I'm hearing you say that the message would be?
Relatable. I want to be relatable to them as well. But with the customers, I'm telling you, like, they've been through so much with either another company or a contractor, or once a contractor knows that they've done half of the job, they'll start slow leaking them. Hey, I'll be back in 2 weeks. Hey, I can't do the job for another 3 weeks. So that's why I always try to put the oomph on us being available, because if something does go wrong, we guarantee our work. We're going to come running. You're not going to be, hey, I made my money off that person. I don't need to go back to that job. Like, I got 10 other jobs. And that's what small businesses can do, because there's no accountability with them. You can't get that same, you don't get that same thing with any major company, any of them. You have to be, you have to be responsible on what you're doing for these people. But I mean, it makes it easy. Again, I mean, I keep saying this and I apologize, but it makes it easy to do things like that when you've been through those types of issues and you've seen so much, but then also you work for a good company. I mean, again, Daryl, like, who knows they're the biggest boss in the company by name, Paul Kelly, these people, they're not just people. They're actually people that I look up to. I read Paul Kelly's book, so I mean, it's not like I don't have anyone up to look to. I mean, that guy right there alone, I mean, he's done a lot for me, as far as like put me under his wing and just, like, it's stuff I don't understand. So it makes stuff a lot easier when you trust the company you work for.
So good. So good.
I have so many bullet points already, starting from the second we started rolling. So I want to just distill a couple of things that you said just now. Ernie, your real secret sauce is just the confidence that you have in your product. You are so comfortable talking about what you're selling, and it just comes across so much in how you describe it. And so I just think, just a tip for everyone out there, having that confidence and speaking with the confidence the way that you do when you talk about the Parker Preferred Plan membership. Parker Preferred membership.
It's all VIP. Everybody. Again, we'll switch it up to
your members. Yeah, and so that confidence, I think, so critical. One of the metaphors you used was don't shoot all your bullets at once. I think that's so important, right? So making sure that you're saving it in reserve for when you're getting ready to close out that conversation. But also the more different bullets you have, the more adaptable you are to each client. So I think that was a really good piece of feedback there too. The other thing I liked that you said was you were talking about the cost in real terms with the client. It's $14 today, but here's all the great benefits you're going to get with it. So just attacking that concern, getting out in front of it and talking about it in real terms with the client, I thought that was so good. So I just wanted to distill that.
I love that. No, wait. Great recap.
I mean, you have to be upfront because, again, when you're giving them your direct information, you got to know that they're going to call back and they may have that question. So why now all of a sudden I'm going to stutter? Oh, you did, because they'll call you out. Oh, you didn't stutter. You didn't say that when you sold me the plan. So it's like, okay, let's bring it in, and then you give that that they did call and you answered their call, or you called them back and they're like, all right, this dude did do what he said he was going to do. So then you earn them for life.
That was the other thing. You were talking about that earlier too. You said, I'm in charge of creating this relationship. You're actively working towards creating a relationship with the client. You said, I want to be accountable, and you stand by your product. And then not just standing by your product though, which I've just found so impressive, you continue to create value through the relationship. So even after you've sold them the membership, you're still touching base with them and continuing to create that value. And that's just so powerful.
That's what we need. There's so much competition out there. And if it's that grandma that feels like she could call me in there, then why not? Not only that, I mean, I'm going to get an extra couple bonus points in heaven for that, because that grandma or nana has been through the ringer, like we get it all the time. Oh, you're going to upsell me because I'm older. No, we're going to take care of you because we look at you as we respect you. And we understand, that you have a plan and you have these things because you want us to be in your back pocket. So, I mean, it's just all these things come from just either being through it or experiencing it or putting myself in their position. What I want to call and be treated that way.
That's great. That's great. Is there anything that you feel when you're talking to a client that is, when you're on the call, that you think is like world class that you could share? Like, what is the thing that you feel pushes the client over in a lot of cases?
You got me. So let's see. So because I attack every single call different, I literally just had this conversation with Teresa because she pulls our calls. That's my boss. She basically was saying, I pulled 4 of your calls and every single call was different. She was like, so I was going to try to figure out exactly where we would, kind of get you. And she was like, I couldn't. And I was like, yeah, right. Nobody blowing smoke up because I'm going on this show, And I was like, but then she was like, no, I'll play them for you. And I was like, well, no, you don't need to do that. But it's just, I attack every situation different because, again, if I have an older lady that her husband passed away, or if I have a youngster that just bought a house, or I have somebody that just moved to Arizona, every single thing is going to be different. An older person is probably going to tell me, I've done with 1,000 companies and you're the 1,001. I don't care what you have to say. Okay, well, that's going to be different because we're not 1,001. We're number one. And then number 2 is, the same thing with making sure you're building that value. We've been around. So I think the more, again, I keep saying knowledge, but that's what they go to because they know that if they're going to ask a question and you got to think about it, it's like a jeweler with a calculator. It's the same thing. If you go to a jeweler and he pulls a calculator out, you can't tell me he doesn't know what his prices are or how much ounces of gold that is, how much the price of a gold is. So he pulls a calculator out. I mean, I could throw 34,000 at the wall and say, oh, if I give you 15%, you're at this. But no, I don't want to do all that because I should know what my product is that I'm presenting to you. I should have had, we'll see when, no, put the umph on yourself. Yes, absolutely. When we get out there, we're going to do a full 40-point safety inspection and tune-up. We're going to go through and analyze everything, motors, electrical, refrigerant, thermostats, air filters, ductwork. Matter of fact, we do attic insulation. So if you want to have a tech that does thermal scoping, or he'll jump in there and make sure you don't have any hot spots. So once we get your unit going, I'm going to come out a couple of days later and make sure your unit's not overworking itself as I check your insulation. And then boom, we're out there. And then the next thing is I'll call 4 weeks later out of nowhere. Hey, just wanted to make sure your insulation is doing good. How's that water quality? I know that when we were out there, you had a lot of calcium buildups. I see in these pictures, so if you've done a good job, they're going to continue to buy from you. So the thing that would separate me or gives me the most, is just, I find value in anything. The janitor, the CEO, everybody has value. So it's just finding what they're looking for and letting them know how much value we provide. But that's just like, man, I'm telling you, everything is so just a different scenario with calls. It's just hard to put it on one thing, but my answers are long. So
it's good.
I can keep going.
Did you have a question?
Ernie, so just for newer call center agents out there or people who want to step up their game, so you reeled off that information so flawlessly just now. When you were first starting out, did you practice with scripts? What method did you use to get to that level?
When I first started selling PFPs, we only sold good, better, and best plans. So with the good plan, little story. I started Parker & Sons when there was 10 of us, 10 people inside of a shack. This thing was crazy. I'm telling you, I came from State Farm and every single thing was a raising desk, a chair that massaged you, a screen room, a game room. I came to Parker. I was like, man, I'm back at the bottom. I just came from the ghetto, I came from the penthouse to the ghetto. And I'm like, what is going on? And we had this weird intercom that they made us jump on. And it's I was like, I'm going back back to State Farm. I can't. This is crazy. And they're like, no, just stick it out. You might like this. And so I started getting competitive and started selling. So of course, other people started getting competitive. They're like, who's this new dude? So really it's just, I don't know how to answer that. It's just making sure that you're knowledgeable. But the way that I got a lot of those, like you're saying, is we literally had that good, that better, and that best plan. And on each of these pamphlets, it told you get this with AC, you get this with electrical, and you get this with plumbing. So I literally took a paragraph of each of those things of the values and I memorized them. So that way, when you told me, what do you get with the plumbing inspection? Well, you get a whole home water heater drain and flush. You get any loose connections, we tighten that up. Same thing on the electrical side. We'll come out, we'll check your bus bar for damage. We'll check your GFIs, AFCIs. And these are all things that I just learned by reading. And so when they started to pick up on it, I kind of put my foot, when I got an electrician on the line or somebody that was knowledgeable, they're like, oh, you're an electrician. No. I'm just a customer service rep that's done this for a long time. So, I hear a lot, but, at that point though, that's what they want to hear. When you're making an appointment with somebody and, your barber, you show him a picture and he comes back and he gives you a different haircut. You're going to be upset. You're like, man, I paid you to do this and you did that. So I just always want them to understand that we're going to do a job well and we're going to do a job good and I'm here for you. So that's where we're at with that one.
Two questions. And then culture at Parker.
Culture.
How would you explain it? Culture in the call center.
Culture in the call center is again with us here, we're always trying to keep the culture alive. So we do different things as far as like last week we did what's the one with the hacky sack you throw into the
cornhole.
Cornhole.
Yep.
So last week, because again, we used to have a lot of contests here, and when you win all the contests, people don't like that too much, So we went into a raffle, and I was mad. I'm like, I want to win all the contests, but then I was like, once I got onto the leadership side, I understood it a little bit because when on my competitive side, I could care less what you want. Win. That's what win. So win if you want to win. Win if you want a prize. But then when I got to the other side of it, and I say, damn, that person did work hard, so I can understand that. Damn, they finished a couple behind me. I mean, I don't need to be that tough. Win. I don't need to be that tough. Like, let me help you up. Here, let me pull you up, and then you can take it. So the culture here is we always try to make sure that everybody, that there's an open door for all of us. I want everybody. I don't want you to be able to tell me your problem, tell Teresa the problem, whatever other supervisor, so we try to keep a culture of everybody to just feel comfortable being who they are. The culture here is we want everybody to feel like they're one and not just someone. So with me, I walk the floor all day, even whenever I have time. Hey, what are you doing? How you doing? Where's your numbers at? I have a pad that I also carry around with me. How come you don't have no goals at your desk? Why ain't your goals in front of you? Why aren't you marking off how many PFPs you have? Where's your numbers at, showing that you're this short for the month, showing that you need to hit this number? So our culture here now is numbers everywhere. Everywhere you go, you should see a number of where you're at. So there's no excuses on why you're not hitting numbers. Now, if you're not hitting numbers, that's where we come in because we're the ones that are supposed to teach you those things. So the culture here right now is put all of the CCRs on a pedestal because there's a million places they could work. And once you get them to trust you and run through a wall, they're going to be like me. And they're going to run through a wall like I will for you because same vice versa. I've never seen anything different from you guys. So why would I question that? So the culture here is definitely CCRs first, making sure that they understand, making sure that they're comfortable, but also making sure that if they do have a problem, they know that they could talk to one of us, whoever they're comfortable with. They know that we're there for them. So our culture is we're a family here. I mean, at the baseball game, I talked to three people that used to work here. They went to the baseball game to go over there, sat in the Parker spot with us. Wow. And we're just like they were back to being part of the family. Nobody treated them wrong because they left. One guy, he went back to Wells Fargo, he got let go and he went back and he's on me, to go over there. And I'm like, no, I'm good where I'm at, and again, it's just, I feel comfortable. Like I didn't feel, I can't invite this guy because he got, he's not for Parker. As soon as he got there, everybody welcomed him like there. So we're a family here. And we try to maintain that because all of us have kids and all of us know that it's crazy out there. And so our culture is more or less try to put the CCRs first, try to make sure that everyone's on the same page, but also just try to know that we are family so everyone can understand that, you know, like people do have issues going on and maybe it's not their day, but it'll be their day tomorrow. Maybe I'll need a pickup. So don't bag that person down or, you know, this person that's always happy. Let people be who they are. So that way, you know, we can kind of see what we need to do to work with them. So we're a family and most importantly, we're competitive.
Great. Well, Ernie, magnificent.
I appreciate you.
You did you have another question?
You know what? I don't want to close out. I got to distill. Ernie, you are so great at what you do. So I'm going to brag on you a little bit. I took some bullet points that I want to make sure everyone takes away because you are so amazing. And I want to make sure everyone hears this, okay? Including you. Because you really have that magic. That you got that secret sauce. You got that. But
he's a little bit. But I'll tell you,
these podcasts right now.
I'll tell you.
Say that to anyone else, Amanda, I'm gonna be mad at you.
No, you're a little bit. This is the first time I've ever seen her do this. By the way, first time I've ever seen her do bullet points to make sure that people get what you just said. Because I do think, Ernie, you're a little bit like a fish that doesn't see water. Like you're so good, you don't even realize how special you are. I don't think I really don't. And so let Amanda share it back with you.
Okay. Right. Now I'm blushing, so go ahead, Amanda.
All right.
All right. Sweating, blushing, jumping, kicking the table.
Love it.
All right. Going all the way back to your upbringing, okay? You understand the value of hard work and self-improvement. So you seek value in what you do, you seek value in the jobs that you've had, and you seek to improve yourself at every turn. You are so good about that. And I appreciate that so much about you as a person. Your ability to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. You have had a lot of experience with that in your previous jobs, and you probably still experience it today, but it makes you a great leader. It's made you great at delivering bad news, at overcoming objections, and being adaptable in empathetic situations.
100%.
Really excellent. You take charge of the service that you provide people. So you understand that you have to take action in order to create value. And then you're great at communicating value and differentiation about the product that you're selling and the product that you are, which is Ernie G. Hell yeah.
There you go.
And then last, and I think very important, you understand that every event presents a choice and that your attitude really is the only thing that matters when you react. And you have at every turn chosen to have the right attitude about what happens in your life and at your work.
I mean, and I mean, that's amazing that you took that from me. I mean, and I just I don't know, again, I don't look at it as like I have a special talent or, I mean, I have I got it all together, or I just always try to just stay humble because again, every time I see you, I still thank you from the year I met you, you know, and I mean, it's again, I don't know, man, it's just where I come from. There's not a lot of people that stick their hand down there for you to pull you up, and you from the get-go have done that. Wrench has done that. Kevin's done that, you know, everybody. So why wouldn't I put my best foot forward for you guys? You know, someday I want to sit where Kevin is and hopefully give somebody like myself a shot. And who knows, maybe I will, you know? So, I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, and I bleed Parker and Sons. I mean, a little inside joke, when I see other plumbing companies or AC company, I'm like, Parker and Sons, you know? What are you doing? I'm like, my bad, I'm sorry. But I'm like, get out of here, you know? And it's funny too, because my son brings Savannah home now. I got 3-4 vans down the block. And I'm like, man, why didn't you call me? You could have called me. So I'm trying to get business cards over here. So I mean, it's just where I live. It's just where I come from and what I've done. And when somebody gives you that opportunity, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? You're gonna, you know, you got I got a lot of people that I take care of, and I'm the breadwinner. So when I go down, all those people go down. And if you've seen how many people, there was at least 20 people there for me. At the game on Sunday. So when you see the love, and I didn't even know, my wife did all that. Half the people were from here were like, man, I'm telling you, this whole entire last 5 days, including this, I actually felt, you know, valued. And I never do, because I just always try to just block that out, because again, you don't ever want to get in your own head. But as I can feel valued, and you guys, and you tell me something like that, then man, I mean, again, I'll run through more walls for you.
Well,
so, thank you.
If we could be
of my heart, you made me blush.
I think, by the way, I think your story is amazing. I think anybody that listens to this can be inspired that they can do it. I think Amanda wrapped up beautifully what makes you special, what sets you apart. And so I'm just delighted that we were able to have her do that for you, because I think it puts a bow on such a great interview. So,
well, don't cut yourself short, man. You know, whether she was here or not, we definitely would have got a good interview, but she made it feel more comfortable because
she did.
Obviously, I've been with her the last 4 years, and we'll be in San Diego, pretty soon here as well.
Yes.
But I mean, she's amazing, and you're amazing, and anything you need from me, I'm here for you.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate that. Yes. Yep. Well, Ernie, we're gonna wrap. Ernie G, thank you so much again. Appreciate you. Appreciate our listeners for tuning in. And what you saw here today is a perfect example of somebody that absolutely you can do anything that you want. You put your mind to it. Also somebody here that is transformed from getting clients happily involved in maintenance agreements and now is in a leadership role. So talk about somebody that always is looking to make his future bigger than his past. So Ernie, my friend, to you, to Amanda, to our listeners at home, here's to a bigger future. Thanks very much.